Hey everybody, Iconic Rinseless Wash. Is this stuff any good? And more importantly, and the reason why I'm really doing this video is, does cost necessarily mean better? And by that I mean, like, does the slickness improve, okay? Does the drying experience improve? Does it clean better than other products? And so in this video, we're gonna use the Iconic Rinseless Wash, which is actually, it's a collaboration between the House of Rags and DIY Details Ivan LaCroix. It's an homage to Ivan, kind of the proponent, not necessarily the founder of rinseless washes, but the biggest proponent in the industry for decades now. So anyway, today's video, because they only have, this was a limited run, the Iconic was a limited run, and there's only a couple hundred bottles left at this point. So today's video it's a test on this, okay? And I've used this a couple times already, and I want to show you how well it works, but it's really to kind of go over, like I said, does cost necessarily mean better? And then, you know, how much are we willing to spend, okay, to get better, I guess. So anyway, well, let's get to the wash. All right, guys, let me show you what we got going on today, what we're working with, and then I'm going to show you how the paint looks, and then we'll get down to cleaning. So my supplies today, what we're going to be using is, again, the Iconic Rinseless Wash, and I have 4 gallons of water in the wash bucket here, so we're going to just measure out 2 ounces and put that in there. And then I have my drying towel. And because I'm doing this outside, I keep it in a bag until it's absolutely needed so it can't get dirty or anything like that. We have our IK sprayer, which we're going to fill up with the rinseless. And then I usually try and have a second wash bucket when I'm doing this process, because I like to keep, a lot of times I go through more than just one sprayer full of this. So what I do is I pour out what I need in my wash bucket, and then I keep some actually rinseless solution inside like a mixing bucket, so that I can refill my sprayer if needed. And in the wash bucket then, and you can use just another, like this is a Tractor Supply bucket. You can grab another one. This just happens to be a clear one. And so we just got a couple rinseless sponges. And then to show you maybe the cleaning power, we have just a white towel. So we're gonna do that. And, you know, we're just going to go from there. So, all right, so the first thing we're going to do is take the lid off of here. And some of you guys, you know, you got to really push down and turn. And I have 4 gallons of water in there. So we are going to use two ounces of the Iconic. Now, I pre-shook this, but what you want to make sure you do with this Iconic is you absolutely want to shake the heck out of it. And let me show you what I'm getting at. If you don't shake it, you will notice a lot of buildup of different stuff on the bottom of the bottle there. So you want to definitely shake it until everything off that bottom is mixed in. And then we're just going to swirl around. Make sure the rinseless is mixed in there. We're going to take our IK sprayer. And this is an IK 360. I love because it's got the flexible pickup tube. We're just going to fill this. All right, and then all we're going to do then is take the rest of our rinseless solution, or not even the rest. We're going to put enough in our wash bucket, a couple gallons. All right, in fact, I could put a little bit more. Now I have roughly, I don't know, maybe 3/4 of a gallon. It's down to about here. I have about 3/4 of a gallon left in this bucket that I can actually use to refill the IK sprayer should I completely empty this out. And then I also have plenty in the actual wash bucket. And if you notice, this is actually like a bluish color. So anyway, let's let me show you what we're working with here, and let's get washing. All right, so I tried to move in the sun so that you could see the dirt, but the whole bottom of the car is dirty. And if I go like this, you should be able to see the amount of dirt. Please don't do this on your own car. I'm just doing this so that you could see the film buildup on the side of the car. This was driven about 100 miles in the rain a couple days ago, so has plenty of film buildup, road film, things like that. And even if I move to the front, if you look at the door, you can see the streaks coming down. And again, more of that road film that's on the car there, in front of the rear wheel. So we're going to be doing the doors today, and I just want to show you the cleaning ability, and you know, we'll go over the cost. So let's get to it. All right, we're here with our dirty panel. The IK's been pumped up, so we're going to spray this on. Now, the first thing I notice about this product, even though this door is coated and this is relatively clean from the top up, with this rinseless, it's actually not beading. It's just kind of sitting flat on the panel. It covers everything there. And then even on the bottom, it's not sheeting off of that road film, that dirt. It's just kind of sitting there. And I really like that, because when I notice that when that happens, it tends to break down that road film a whole lot better than those, obviously, that just kind of sheet off and don't really attack it. So let's go in with this. All right, we're just gonna go in with our white microfiber towel. In fact, since I've been talking to you, it's so windy, everything is drying instantly. So we'll add a little bit more. And then we'll just go in with our towel and we'll just swipe. We'll make sure we get a nice clean door. Now, this rinseless is super slick with this towel, and you could see the dirt. All right, let me show you that. There's the dirt on the towel. In fact, I've only done 3/4 of the door, so let's finish and get even more dirt on this thing. All right, so now we got a nice little piece of something there. All right, there's the towel. You can see how dirty it is. And we'll go in for the one dunk. All right, so we got our towel. You can see just how dirty this is. Let's go in for the dunk. All right, and you can see a lot of that did come off. Most of this came off. There's a little bit of a shadow there. So if I just go in back in, swish it around a little bit, now that white is completely cleaned off. This is a fantastic cleaner, super slick on the surface. All right, so now that I've shown you the one dunk, let's go in for the dry off. Now this actually has dried. This whole panel is almost dried completely. We don't want to dry a dry panel. So in this case, we're gonna spray a little bit more on. And I'm just gonna go in and dry. Now, there is some slickness with this. It doesn't want to bunch my towel up. And if I fold this again, so if I fold it into 4s and I spray and I go across, my towel actually has a little bit of glide. It doesn't, you know, I mean, it's not, I don't feel like I have to push it across the surface very hard. And then it's leaving just a great, I don't want to call it, it's leaving like a gloss behind, because this is a polished and a coated car. But, you know, with a microfiber, it's super slick across the whole, even on the bottom where all that film was. A lot of other rinseless washes, it'll be slick at the top where there's not much dirt. And then when you get to the bottom, when you get that road film, it'll start to get grabby. It won't slide across the surface that good, because that rinseless wash hasn't really broken down any of that road film. this stuff actually starts breaking that down for you. So let's get to I'm going to do a sponge test now on the front door and kind of explain how that feels. And this is a brand new sponge. So we'll probably hit this and see if the one dunk passes or if I stain a new sponge. So let's get to the front door. All right, so we're at the front door and we're gonna do the same. We're just gonna spray just a nice coat. And again, it just the whole panel. It doesn't bead, it just kind of covers every, I guess, millimeter that you could do now. And then when we don't want to put it on the paint like this, we want to squeeze it out. All right, and we want it to be, actually that's still a little bit too much. You want it to be just barely dripping like that. You know, when they say, you hear a lot on the verge of dripping, that's not accurate. You need some of that water in there, because if there's no water coming out, that means there's really almost no water in the sponge. You want a little bit in there. So really the accurate term would be a slight drip rather than on the verge of dripping. All right, there we go. We got tons of dirt. Let's go in for the dunk and see what we get. There you go. I'm not even gonna squeeze it out. I'm just gonna let the water drain. You can see just how much dirt that released off the sponge. Let me bring you in close. Let me squeeze this out a little bit and bring you in close. All right, there you go. No problem at all. Didn't stain my sponge, thank God. I got enough stained sponges. So this one definitely passes the one dunk test. Super easy and cleans like crazy. So, all right, so now that you've seen the one dunk test on both the towel and on the sponge, I'm gonna do the rest of the car now, and I will be right back with some final thoughts. All right, guys, I wanna bring you in and show you the glass. So I sprayed some on the glass. You could see it dried up, it's streaked. Okay, if I run my finger across there, like it's grabby actually, like with my finger because it's dry. Now this is the towel that I clean the rest of the car with. So if I just go across, this is a little bit damp, but if I just go across like this, all right, it takes everything off, no issues whatsoever, and it dries without streaks, dries without leaving a residue behind, and so passes the glass test. All right, guys, there you have it. Just a quick test with the Iconic. Now, the reason, like I said, the reason why I did this video is I wanted to show you the test because at some point this may wind up being another product with a different label. But really, this is one of the most expensive 16-ounce bottles that you're gonna buy, okay? 25 bucks right now at the House of Rags, 10% less if you use my discount code TOD10. But at $25, okay, and they only come in these 16-ounce bottles. That means if you wanted to buy a gallon of it, let's just say it would cost you $200. Now, what I did is I created a spreadsheet, and if I can show you, it'll be on the screen right now. But what I did was I looked at like 3 dozen different rinseless washes that are available in quarts, 16 ounces, gallons, and I averaged out the 16-ounce price and then the gallon price. And what I found was that on average, the gallon cost was roughly 40%, 30 to 40%. I think it's closer to 40%. What the cost of, like if I took 8 of the 16 ounces, multiplied that out, and then I took like what the gallon costs and averaged all those out, the gallon cost was roughly 40% of what 8 times the 16 ounces were running. So what I calculated was that if I took this product here, the Iconic, something super expensive like this, a gallon would run roughly $80. Now, what does that mean? And this is why I want you to leave a comment below if you made it this far, okay? What is your breaking point at which a product might be like really good, but it's just not worth the juice or the squeeze, as they say. At what point is your breaking point where you're like, no, I'm not going to spend that much on a gallon? Is it 60 bucks? Is it 50 bucks? I mean, there's a whole lot of rinseless washes out there right now that at 50 bucks or less, you get fantastic, you know, rinseless. So what is your breaking point? What is the value of, I guess, slickness versus like if you just want to use a drying aid or a detail spray instead of relying on this for slickness? You tell me in the comments below, what is your breaking point? So having said that, guys, I just want to let you know this is a fantastic rinseless wash. In fact, if I remember, I did a video where I showed the sponge on the glass. I'll show that right now. How slick is Iconic rinseless wash on the sponge? That's when you know you got a banger of a product right there. A lot of others won't do that. It just kind of sits there. But yeah, Iconic, this is super slick on the sponge. Even an old beat up sponge like this one, it just slides right down. Fantastic product. All right, so anyway, Iconic rinseless wash, a couple hundred bottles left as of the time of this recording, but the video is really not completely about that. It's about like, what is the cost? You know, what are we willing to pay for a rinseless, and is it worth it? Does it produce better results than cheaper stuff out there? And I can honestly say there's plenty of stuff that's cheaper out there that cleans. You know, this is one of those things where you buy this because you just want to try it out. Honestly, you just want to try it out. You want to see what something ultra expensive cleans like, feels like on the paint, but there's plenty of other cleaners that clean like this. And although this is super smooth and slick on the actual wash, on the sponge, and on the microfiber, so I got to give it that. On the dry off, it's pretty good, but there's a bunch of other products that actually dry or feel slick on the dry off, just like this one does. So it's all really what you're willing to spend, guys. So anyway, until next time, we'll talk to you later. Bye.